How many times have you seen something out of the corner of your eye that wasn't there? You turned quickly, hoping to get a better look, and found nothing. Not something that's there, like a table or hat that you misidentified, but literally nothing. In tonight's piece, we peek in at a pair of paranormal accounts sent in by subscribers, where they in fact did find something when they investigated.
This happened about 20 years ago. My family and I were renting an apartment in an old Victorian house built before the turn of the century. It had been owned part by my grandfather's family a very long time ago. At the time we were living there, it was owned by a very kind woman. We lived there for quite a while when I started to get strange feelings of overwhelming sadness. I would also see fast movement out of the corner of my eyes. One room in particular was always cold. It was the dining room, and just off the dining room was the bathroom. Well, one day I was at home alone. As I remember it, I had just gathered all of the laundry from my other family members' rooms. And when I turned the corner into the dining room area, I noticed first how much colder it was. Then I looked towards the bathroom, and standing before me was the full-body apparition of my landlord's son. He had been the last to live in the apartment and had overdosed right there in the dining room. I saw him clear as day. Hell, I even said hello to him. It took my brain a few seconds to realize it wasn't him, but a spirit. Without words, I knew he wanted to see his children, but they were living with his mother. This terrified me. For a week I saw him appear and disappear. I finally went to my landlord's house and told her everything. I was surprised she believed me. So the following day, she came with the children, said some prayers, and they forgave him for his past. After that day, I never saw shadows out of the corner of my eyes, and I truly believe that after his family came and prayed for him, not once did anything of the supernatural occur.
My grandparents employed a housekeeper for over a decade. Out of respect for her and her family, we'll call her Mary. She was a really nice lady, and she'd been around for so long that she seemed like a part of the family. She was a diabetic and was prone to drowsiness, so my grandmother had a small bedroom upstairs that she offered up to her if she ever needed it. She would rest for 30 or 40 minutes, then wake up and get right back to work. Sadly, one day, she didn't wake up. Fast forward about a year. I'm 13 years old, and I'm spending the night at my grandparents' house, when I hear the door at the end of the hallway upstairs open. I knew I was the only one up there, so I went to investigate. The hallway had a small, dim night light that would light a small path for me in case I needed to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. With the help of the light, I could see that the door at the end of the hall was indeed open. It led to the room where Mary would nap, and yes, it was also where she passed away. Slowly it started to close itself to just a crack. I felt a breeze and saw what I assumed now was an apparition. The figure stopped and said, "Go back to sleep, mi hijo," which is what Mary always called me. She walked halfway down the stairs and vanished. I stood there, frozen for a second in shock of the whole thing, and eventually went back to sleep. I wasn't scared, honestly. It was almost like seeing an old friend that you hadn't seen in a while, but definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
You never can tell, Super Horror Family. The spirit in the first story wanted to see his family, to reconnect, but the second was visiting a family she worked for. She might have even been there for that little boy specifically. You might wonder, why wouldn't she visit her own family? There could be many reasons, but at a minimum, this family offered her kindness, gentleness, and patience. These are skillful intentions, skillful energies. I could see her wanting to come back, to visit, and see that things were okay. Oh, before you go, please consider joining Super Horror Show on Patreon. After these stories, I'm considering hiring a necromancer to bring some of my family back for a visit. The necromancer wants $10,000 though. I asked if I could get some kind of a discount, and they said, "No, it's expensive to raise a family nowadays."